Can't remember what episode we're up to.
Let's just say it's an episode. It's episode whatever you want it to be.
We could do this is Shane and Sean Shoot the Shit episode, insert episode number here.
Yeah.
Hit right here in this space.
Like and subscribe. Click the like button.
So I always had this idea of doing an episode on riding racing BMX with anxiety, but we'll push that aside for now because Sean's very excited about his new little build here that you can see on this camera that he keeps very close to himself.
Of course.
He's always rubbing against it.
I've already had someone ask if they could buy it or swap it with something else. So yeah, and I've only had it for, I don't know, probably together for just over under a month.
So let's go back to the beginning. When when you decided to buy it, what was it that pushed you over the line?
The 30th anniversary, because originally I missed out on the 450 first gen, the chrome one that you have.
Which was the 25th anniversary.
The 25th anniversary, and I procrastinated and hum and hard and blah blah blah, and next thing I know they were gone, and I just regretted it. Like I should have, and just they just don't appear. I've seen a few people build them and they look amazing. So I thought if he ever makes another one, like for the 30th anniversary, I'm going to jump all over it. And you see a lot of people that collect Supercrosses and they have a lot of the OG, the original 6 bars. And I know they did an aluminium one, but the chrome moly one is, I guess that was his first frame design back in '89. So I guess there's a lot of history in the design. So when it came up, I'm like, okay, yeah, I need to have one.
So you already had a 450?
Gen 2, yep.
So what made you think, stuff it, I need another one. I need another chrome moly frame and 20 inch. And
Look, I guess it goes back to, I need it. It's the 30th anniversary. I just love the way chrome moly rides. And I just I was surprised how awesome it looks when I pulled it out of the box. It was just exceeded my expectations. And it's an old design frame with amazing modern technology, the way it's been built, the chrome moly. So it's
got the Japanese Tange Prestige chrome moly, so it's actually quite a light bike. It's not just one of these homages to, like the Haros and all that sort of stuff, where even the Mongoose Stranger Things weighs a ton.
Yeah.
Put big chunky aluminium wheels on it and all that sort of stuff. So this is more of it's a throwback, but it's current race geometry, super light tubing.
It's definitely a bike. Yeah, you can ride it at the trails, ride it at the skate park. You can race it. It's designed to be ridden properly, but also if you just want to keep it as a carpet queen or hang it on the wall, well, if you choose to do that. But it's definitely a serious bike to be ridden, and that's what I'm choosing to do with it. I've built it up to actually ride it, not just. I'm going to definitely look after it, and
You've already got way too much dirt on your tyres for that to be a carpet queen.
I know, right? But yeah, look, it's just something that I've never really owned a black bike either, so that was kind of because they had the options of chrome, raw, and then the black, and I've seen a few chrome ones, and then obviously Andrew and Glenn have raw versions of this frame, and went, I might go the black.
What would you have done if it came out like a neon yellow or something? Do you reckon you still would have got it?
100%. Me and Fluoro, man. I'm an 80s tragic. Look at my Cruiser. But I think for me too, this is completely different, as in the way it looks for what I currently ride. Like my 450s, the cobalt blue, it's got gold parts, it's very blingy, the chrome bars, chrome forks. So it's a completely different look. And I had a vision in my head, and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. So, slowly ticked off the parts list, and COVID sort of slowed a lot of stuff down, so I had to kind of wait, but that's okay. And when it all came together, I was really, really happy how it turned out. It actually turned out better than I thought inside my little warped little head. But
so, do you think at any stage you might consider using this as your race bike rather than the blue one?
There is a distinct possibility. My daughter because I was going to take it to Shepparton last weekend and actually race it. And she caved, and then I sort of had a 11th hour decision thinking, no, I'll just race the bike I currently race and just stick with that. But yes, I was definitely tempted to race it. So look, might see it trackside for sure under the tent, you know. Yeah, well, like I said, it's designed to be ridden, and Bill had that in mind. Because I mean, if it was going to be just a tribute bike, as you said, it would not be as trick as this.
Do you have much on this setup that's different to your race setup?
Just the hubs, which are different, because I'm running the Profile Elites. So these are the, what are they called? The high flange.
I guess, yeah, they're just a high flange version of the mini hub, which is kind of like a throwback as well, isn't it? It's
That's why I chose them.
yeah. So they've been out of the market for a while. They've just come back.
They've
the
come
last
back.
Couple of years.
Yeah, so it's modern technology in that also, like with the Profile Mini internals, and then the mid-school hub shell, I guess.
Yeah.
Just machined like it used to be, and a lot of people love it. Like people, oh, you know, I've got a mid-school, blah blah blah, and I should get those hubs. So they like that they've been reintroduced, re-released. Bars are the same, levers the same, pedals, cranks, everything pretty much is the same. Just tried to keep it as close as the blue bike, but slightly different geometry with this, as in the taller standover to accommodate the stiffer rear end with the extra bars. And yeah, the retro style Pro forks, because I run a Pro SLT, so slightly different, but yeah, it feels awesome.
Pro fork was always my favourite race fork since I first started using them 10 or so years ago. Just the classic styling of them. So I was quite happy to see that Supercross brought them back, but I still haven't got around to buying a set because I'm running 20mm front hub on all my bikes now. So I do need to get a set and stash them away somewhere for a rainy day.
Well, my first ever Supercross product was a chrome set of Supercross Pro forks, which you now have.
Which are in the lounge room, in the bike room.
Which are in the bike room, and yeah, unbelievable, you know. And we did do a fair trade, I must admit.
I can't even remember what I traded for them.
A pair of SLT Cruiser forks.
Oh, there you go.
There you go, look at me. Not so silly after all.
I wouldn't say that. Let's not get too carried away.
Yeah, so yeah, look, and that was it. I was kind of, yeah, okay, and then I got a Supercross stem and, you know, etc. But yeah, they definitely are a nice looking fork. And I had to get the forks with the decals to match the frame to sort of set, you know, to complete the look. It's kind of like, looks like it's in a bit of a time capsule, but yeah, it's.
I don't know, you know, you see a whole lot of, I don't know, standards and other chromoly frames out there. They still have this real classic look and really blocky, sort of standard looking decals. So this, to me, for a chromoly frame, it still looks quite modern. And I don't know if that's just because I think that it's possible for a chromoly frame to even look modern, where a lot of people just look at them as old school regardless of how new they are.
Yeah. And there's a couple of companies that have made chromoly frames just recently, and they like, and even our 450s, the way that they slope down now, they don't have that tall seat pole tubing and stuff like that. So they look racy, you know, and they do look modern. And yeah, the tubing's a little bit smaller, but in some cases the tubing's actually quite stronger and they're more durable than an aluminium frame. So sometimes it's a better option. Just there's that stigma, I guess, that, you know, if you ride a chromoly frame, it's not as far. You're not going to be as fast as you are on an aluminium frame. But with the way technology is in metal and steel, it's, you know, like this prestige, you know.
I think the market is driving people away from chromoly in the way that they push aluminium and carbon at the moment. If a manufacturer doesn't have a carbon frame, they're not considered a serious contender. Although I guess S Squared have got away with it for quite a while now, not running a carbon frame. But you know, they've still got all their carbon forks and bars and everything else. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, in their frame, they've sort of stuck by the way they've designed their frame, and that they're happy with that, and they haven't. They've just gone, okay, this is what our frame is, and we're sticking with it, and it's tried and true, and they haven't tried to fiddle with it too much, which is kind of good in a way, also.
Yeah. It's just nice to see the market sort of push progression, but I'm glad that people like Supercross and Standard and the few others out there, I think Fate was a new one, are still on the Chrome Moly bandwagon and still providing us old guys at least with the opportunity to still ride chromo, because a lot of the new school or the new era of BMXers would never have felt what it's like to ride a Chrome Moly frame.
And and going from what I owned a Supercross Bolt LT, which was a chromo frame, and even the technology and the way the frame feels, the Chrome Moly feels now, to how even that was like a 2010 frame, where that frame had a little bit of bottom bracket flex and stuff like that, where these frames that we're running now is just amazingly stiff. I've had a couple of guys that normally ride aluminium, and they couldn't actually believe how stiff the chromo was. They were really, really surprised. And I have a friend that's also got one of those Rift Chrome Moly frames, and I'm dying to have a ride of it actually to see what it feels like. But yeah, they were done in a limited run, and I think that French guy that was sponsored by, he raced a World Cup on one, I think. Or he did a race on one.
There was a dude in, I think it was
Romain.
Oh really? He rode a Chrome Moly one in a Supercross. I remember someone riding a Standard. It might have been
Godet.
In Europe somewhere, and he made a final and got 6th or something.
I don't think he rode it in a World Cup, but I'm pretty sure he rode it. You think? Yeah. Yeah, cool. Well, that goes to show it's all about, your bike handling, and don't really worry about what's underneath you. You just let your riding do the talking, no matter what you're on. Chrome Moly, aluminium, carbon, But I guess for us guys, it's a bit of a throwback, bit of a homage. Good memories on chromo bikes. I mean, I love aluminium. I love carbon. I love riding your carbon. All the time. Hey, can I ride your carbon? But yeah, look, I'm super stoked how this has come out. I'd like to thank all the people that gave me heaps of love when I've put up pictures. I've got and even Bill Ryan reposted your picture from yesterday. So was pretty stoked seeing Bill, post up a picture and said how good us guys down under build bikes. So pretty stoked on that, because there's some really nice builds down here, like aluminium, chromo and carbon bikes down here. We seem to love it. So yeah,
it's a passion though, isn't it? It's like, we've been around long enough to know what we want to ride, and be able to pick the parts ourselves, where sometimes you'll see someone get a custom build and they'll let the bike shop do the build, or let their coach do the build or whatever. And,
yeah.
I think you can see character come out. What's wrong with you?
Oh, I just use it, let the bike shop do the build, or let the coach do the build. It's just like cringeworthy.
It is.
I'm like, stop.
Yeah. I think ever since I first started racing, it was almost all custom builds, apart from my very first bike, and there's a lot of joy in just like getting all the parts together. It's almost like Christmas when you finally got everything together and you can actually build it.
Yep. When Gary bought my little gift bike, we ticked off the parts I needed and stuff, and when they came available and he was able to get them, and yeah, when he turned up here, and it was like, oh my gosh, got all these cool parts. There was only a couple little things that were missing that I couldn't actually put the whole thing together, but yeah, it was pretty exciting, especially like the wheel set. Andy built them up, and he always builds a killer wheel set. So it's funny, like you were saying, the only thing that you can say was parents. I guess your parents restrict you on if you're getting a custom bike, mum and dad's pocket.
Oh yeah, budget, yeah.
Budget wise, but yeah, your coach or a bike shop doing it, come on. Yeah, look. But yeah, like I said, I just had a vision in my head of what I wanted it to look like, and I did a little bit of research on black bikes, and I saw a lot of these built, with chrome handlebars and some with chrome forks, and that's cool. I just didn't want to follow what everybody else was doing, and I even looked at like Timmy Austin, one of our good mates and my Speedline teammate back, a few years ago. he did a blacked out Supercross Bolt.
That's right.
And and I got a lot of inspiration from that. I was like, looked at his photos about 800 times, and I just loved how that looked. And I went, I'm gonna try and go for something like that. Not trying to pinch your flavour, brother, but just sometimes it's good to get a little bit of inspiration from different areas. But yeah, no, that's a killer bike too, which is Chrome Ollie.
So now that's all together, is there anything on it you feel like you need to change, or is there another build you have on the horizon that you sort of got an image in your head and you want to build up?
I think for me, maybe a half link chain, and I've got some black chainring bolts at home. I've actually borrowed some chainring bolts off someone just so I could put it together. Hi Adam. Yeah, so just some black, and possibly a black chain, but black chains are pretty hard to get, full black chain. So I'm just going to try and get a half link, but apart from that, it's all good. And possibly some new pedals whenever I can get a set somewhere. So it's happy as. And I haven't run ODI Ruffians before, and I'm sold. I love them.
What do you normally run? AG2s?
The AG2s or the AG1s. So just thought I'd try. I found them on a mate's bike.
Because the AG2s and AG1s aren't solid black, are they?
No, they have a little bit of
Grey.
colour, a bit grey, or you can get blue, or you can get like a yellow and an orange, but plain black. Like I said, going for that whole blacked out type of look. And I thought, the ODI Ruffians, and I love them. They feel really good because I like that slim. Were you like a bulky kind of grip?
Yeah, because I don't like gloves.
Yeah.
So, and I spend 90% of my time on my bike without gloves on because I'm riding here.
Riding there, yeah. So, and if I'm wearing gloves, I like to have a slim feel. So, I guess, horses for courses, we all got different flavours. I mean, it does feel funny riding your bike with these huge grips. Like, but I mean, he's got hands the size of dinner plates. So, anyway, cool.
All right. Anything else you wanted to talk about your very special build?
I'd like to just thank everybody that helped me with it. Big shout out to Adam Ahern, who basically put it together with me. It was a rainy weekend a couple of weeks ago in Bendigo. Was nothing to do, it was freezing, and he goes, why don't you just bring it all over and we'll just build it in the shed? And I said, really? He goes, yep. So big shout out to Adam. I did drive all the way to Castlemaine, forget the handlebars, and then have to drive all the way back just because I forgot the handlebars. We started the build and he goes, where's the handlebars? And I went, they're not here, are they? And he goes, no. So I'm like, oh, they're still in my room. So, because I'm like, I don't want to stop. So I got in my car. It's like a 40-minute drive one way. Got home, and there they are. Put it back in the car. Got a coffee, and then drove back. And so massive shout out. Thanks so much, Adam. Obviously ECI profile, Supercross. Thanks, Bill, for re-releasing the awesome. That's if you watch this, Bill. But thanks for re-releasing this awesome bike, and thanks to everybody for the love. And hopefully you'll see a lot more of it.
Awesome. Well, I guess that'll do for an episode. What do you reckon?
I'm happy if you're happy. Are you happy? I'm happy.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Peace out. Cool. Good job.
How long was that? 15 minutes.
Is that enough? Yeah.